Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Talking Real Money, your go-to show for going to retirement or going to a better future. We're going to get you to a better future here on this program by hook or by, well, I better not say crook because that's most of the industry. By hook or by...
Just don't call them the L word and you'll be okay.
Oh, I know. I got in such trouble for that.
Okay.
I did. I called one part of the financial services industry liars. Even though it's true, somebody got mad. I'm not going to name names, but somebody got mad. So,
You raise an interesting point before we go to the calls about, you said this about retirement. Most people think the show's about investing.
Yeah. It's about the
or
future.
Saving or whatever it is.
It's about the future.
It is about the future, but most investing should be about saving for your retirement.
That is a good point, sir.
People have a tendency to think, oh, I'm trading stocks to get rich. Well, to what end?
Mm-hmm.
You're probably not going to get rich trading stocks. We think we can show you a pretty clear track record that hasn't happened, but you should be setting something aside, building a long-term portfolio at any age towards the day when you no longer have regular income. Put it that way.
So you're saying that everyone should practice purposeful investing.
Ooh.
Investing
purposeful. I like that.
With a purpose. What is the purpose? Think about the purpose. Are you just trying to make money to make money? What, is it a contest? No, what you're doing it for a reason. Find out what that reason is. Determine it's probably going to be retirement. And that helps you plan better when you know what the eventual purpose of the money will be.
Well said.
There we go. Now, we're going to do something a little different. Rather than go to our topic du jour at the top of the hour, we have
which is a good one, I got to say, by the way. But okay.
We got a lot of calls.
Okay.
So we're going to get those in first because we hate to leave all these folks waiting like we've been.
They have been.
Like Jeff has been waiting for a while, and he was so nice to call. Jeff, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hey, Jeff.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
What's up?
Thank you for fitting me in before the topic of the hour.
What's up?
So I have a question for you guys. Wanted to give you about 30 seconds of background before my question.
Sure.
So I've been following you guys, following your advice for years. Maybe 2 years ago, my wife and I now are customers.
Oh, Vestory clients.
Vestory. And,
okay.
Yes, and really believe in the methodology and have learned a lot. And so am appropriately skeptical of things that I hear on the radio, not this program, of course. But I've been hearing advertisements for organizations that do investing as well as long-term planning and tax and how to structure things so that when you're going into retirement, you can have minimize tax bills and kind of have planning. And we're in our 50s, and that's the time to do that. And I know, and I've never moved my money, right? And obviously they would charge an arm and a leg for that. But how would you gentlemen recommend putting together kind of a synthetic version of that, where we have you for the investments and then we have other trusted advisors that can handle coordinating the tax planning, et cetera?
That's Tom's area of expertise.
Yeah. By the way, we have CPAs we work with. We have estate planning attorneys we work with. We have people that are in the long-term care insurance field.
So we coordinate a lot of that. Your advisor is kind of your quarterback of this team, coordinating all of those bits and pieces. We do that for a lot of people.
Okay. Excellent. I will give him a call.
There you go. That's all you need to do, and they will help you coordinate it.
Yeah, I mean, you raise a very good point, and thank you, first of all, Jeff, for working with us. Number two, raises a really good point, is that there really isn't anyone who knows everything about everything.
Mm-mm.
We'd like to think so. And we have certified financial planners who know a little bit about everything, right? They know a little bit about estates. They know a little bit about investing and insurance, all those things. But you still, at the end of the day, oftentimes need somebody who's really totally immersed in that.
Right.
We have people that we've vetted. We have people that we've worked with. We have people we trust that we involve in our team so that you get that advice, because it's critical, especially, as you said, when you're in your 50s and heading towards your 60s.
Yeah.
Getting really old.
You need people who live, eat, and breathe it sometimes. Some of the basic stuff your advisor can handle. Some of the more involved, really specific stuff
Came up this week.
You need somebody who really
a non-spousal inherited IRA. Do you know if you're less than 10 years, the person who died and left you the money is less than 10 years older than you, you don't have to use the 10-year rule that was put in place in the Secure Act. I didn't know.
That's what I read. I read that when we had a discussion about that. It's really tax law, particularly, just gets more complicated all the time. Not easier, more complex. 855-935-TALK. Give us a call, please.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
A second opinion could save your life either physically or fiscally. Let one of our Vestory advisors help you save your future at vestory.com, vestory.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Hi, welcome back to our little get-together. I'm Don McDonald. Over there is Tom Cock. We're your hosts every Saturday for a live version of Talking Real Money in the Seattle metro area that becomes a podcast for everybody else in America.
Not just a podcast, a very popular podcast that continues to rise in the numbers and ratings. Wow, thank you.
Yeah,
for listening.
We're at 100,000 downloads a month now. That's a lot.
And those can't be all me because I don't have that much time to just download. It'd be too much work.
I edit the darn thing, so I don't want to hear them again.
Plus, in fact,
really
I don't know how to download, right. So it's probably worse.
Once again, that number is 855-935-TALK, and we do have folks on the line, but we still have lines open for you too, and a lot of time. Gus, you're up next. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hey, guys. So I was listening to one of your podcasts, which you were just talking about. It's from a couple of weeks ago, and I think following that, you added some ETFs to your site, talkingrealmoney.com, your three-fund solution or whatever.
Yes, we did.
And I was comparing a couple of those, and I guess my wondering was, I guess there's some tax savings or something with the ETF versus the mutual fund. And it looks like the ETF, the ITOT, I think it looks like it's about double the expense ratio of like the KAX.
I got to look.
So I was wondering.
I got to look stuff up
in the long run.
Hold on.
So which family are we talking about?
I got to go.
This was the Fidelity ones, the ITOT.
Okay.
The FSKAX.
Oh. Okay. No, we're looking at with ETFs, we had to use iShares, the S&P Total Stock Market ETF, because there aren't a lot of great ETFs that will get you where you can split U.S. and international.
Remember, we give one the Victor Tango, the Vanguard ETF, which is a global stock fund, holds about 8,800 securities around the world. What we were trying to find is one U.S., one international.
So that people could do the split.
You could do the split that way.
And these were the best we could find.
And you raised an interesting question here, Gus, about the tax treatment. So the way a ETF is structured, it allows the managers to move securities from one to the other without having to sell. So there's the cost. There's no the capital gains is then avoided inside the fund, so the people that hold it don't face that the way they do in a mutual fund. So there is some savings there, but that's a pretty dramatic difference in expense.
Wait a minute, and I'm trying to
30 basis points.
I'm trying to find which one did you say was more expensive?
I thought it was the ITOT. It was 30 basis points.
It's 3 basis points. 3.
Oh, 3.
3.
And then, so what was the other one? 1.15 basis points, or how do you?
Wait a minute. Which was okay?
1.5 then.
The ITOT.
KAX.
The ITOT is 3 basis points. The IXUS, which is the international, is 9 basis points.
But he's comparing that to the Fidelity
and I'm going to go back to the Fidelity, which is FSKAX. Hold on.
That's right.
I just have to look all these up because I don't remember the current.
Can't be a whole lot cheaper.
Expense ratios. Let's see. That's the total market, U.S. at Fidelity. Come on. It is half the price, but we're talking about
small
1.5 basis points. That's the reason.
Not a lot of difference when it comes to the bottom line. Yeah.
This is a number that's so small as to be infinitesimally important.
So you would still go with the ETF over the mutual fund if you were going to hold it in there for 20, 30 years and keep contributing?
If I was starting from scratch, yes, sir, that's what I would do, because I have little or no chance. In fact, I have no chance of distributed capital gains. While with the Fidelity, you won't have much. You might have a little, and over time, that's going to add up to more than likely, more than 1.5 basis points.
Are there just as many funds in that one as the KAX?
Yeah. It's basically
just as many stocks.
Stocks. Both of them are the total market. Just they use S&P's total market, and I don't know who Fidelity emulates. Let me look. I can find out.
Yeah, you raise an interesting point. But again, at the end of the day, when you're talking about a 1.5% basis point difference, wow. I mean, that is, we're not talking about 10 basis points or 100 basis points we normally would be looking at. That is not much of a difference between those two security of securities is the way I'd put it.
Yeah, we're getting into such. I mean, it's one of the reasons why we don't. Yeah. We don't. People are saying, "Well, why don't you recommend the Fidelity Zero funds that have zero?" Because, okay, so that they're a fraction of a teeny percent cheaper, but they also are an emulating fund. They don't actually own all the securities in the portfolio. Whereas, and just so you know, there are 3,612 stocks at Fidelity and 3,604 at iShares.
I doubt those 8 stocks are going to make that much difference, but maybe they leave out Microsoft or something.
No, they both have Microsoft.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're okay. You're going to be okay, Gus.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right. Thanks so much for calling. We do appreciate
Great question.
That. Yeah, that's a good question. And we've gotten the weeds, and I'm thinking, I put a fund in that was 30 basis points?
Yeah, no, I was surprised. With an exchange-traded fund, that would be saying something. Now, there are actively managed ETFs that are, but not passive. No.
I was so worried. I'm scrambling to start looking up the numbers, but no, it's 3 basis points. 855-935-TALK. Kurt, you're up next. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Yeah, hi, guys.
Hey, Kurt.
I appreciate your show, first of all.
Thank you.
I like your low-cost approach for investing with a few simple funds, either ETFs or index funds. My question is regarding Roth IRAs. You guys may have spoken about this in the past, but I haven't heard. I just wanted to get your opinion on the viability or effectiveness of Roth 401ks and rolling them at some point in time into Roth IRAs. And the other question concerning IRAs is backdoor Roth IRAs in case you make too much money. Any thoughts, I guess, first of all?
Well, what are you looking to learn?
Yeah,
I mean, what do you want to... what do you want to know specifically about them?
Well, it's my understanding, first of all, with the Roth 401k, if you roll it out into a Roth IRA, you can avoid RMDs, required minimum distributions. Is that an effective strategy, in your opinion? For some people?
Well, it depends on your situation. Yes. I mean, it's always good not to have to pull any money out of a retirement account if you can avoid it. Sure. Remember, though, it's still even if there was an RMD on a Roth 401k, which I'm not sure there is. Okay. So, you're not going to pay any tax on that money. So if you needed the money, you could balance between the other. We'll come back and talk about backdoor
I think,
Roth.
but that first question, I think, really depends on when you plan to use the money. If you just want to let it continue to grow tax-free past age, so I think they're still saying, is it 72 or 70 and a half?
72.
Yeah, I didn't know on the 401s because I'm still reading some weird stuff. Anyway, that's the old internet. It depends on how long you're going to leave it. Yeah, if you want to leave it forever, move it to the IRA. We'll be right back.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Tom and I created Vestory to help everyone become a better investor, even those who will never be clients. Let one of our advisors help you start your financial plan or solve a money problem free with no obligation or high-pressure sales pitch at Vestory.com. Vestory.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
That was a painless break. That was tiny. We're talking with Kurt about Roths, either Roth 401ks, Roth IRAs, or now we're going to talk a little bit about backdoor Roth IRAs. Tom, explain that a little bit.
Well, here's the idea. I mean, if you're an individual and you make more than $140,000, if you're a couple and you make more than $208,000 in adjusted gross income, you cannot contribute to a Roth IRA. The government will not allow you to do that. That's the cap. But there's a backdoor. There's a trick. You can have an IRA, make a non-deductible IRA contribution, and then immediately through the back door move that into a Roth. Now, here's the part that is important to pay attention to. If you have money in an IRA and you try to do this, you have to move a similar percentage of that money to the Roth and pay the tax on it because that's considered income. But if you've cleaned out your IRAs, you could still have 401ks. You could use the regular IRA. You put in, I don't know how old Kurt is, the 6,000. I always forget the numbers, but
six up to 57 after 50.
All right. So you could put either $6,000 or $7,000 in the IRA. You immediately moved over to the Roth. Do I like that as a strategy? Sure. Because now and by the way, this is one of the things that of the myriad being considered by Congress that they may get rid of because they think, well, this is a trick, and people, it kind of is a trick. So it allows you then to move money into a fund that's going to grow tax free. So do I like that as a strategy? Absolutely. Pay attention to make sure you don't have other IRAs where you could have to move a percentage of that money over.
Does that answer your question, Kurt?
It does. I appreciate the answers for both. The rolling money from a Roth 401k to a Roth IRA and a backdoor Roth. I employ the backdoor Roth right now because I'm continuing working. And,
good for you.
Yeah, you have to roll money into a regular IRA first before I roll it.
Correct. You got to you do you're over 50, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
$7,000 a year, I think, is what.
7,000 is what you can do, and then you don't get a tax deduction, but you can move it right into a Roth and get tax-free growth, which is the same thing.
Sure.
And again, I think Tom's right. I think one of these days Congress is going to go, wait, that's not what we meant to do.
No, that's
you
unintended circumstance.
found a roundabout way to do that, didn't you?
And what is Peter Thiel's Roth, like $10 billion, whatever it is? I mean, they're going to clean up some of that stuff, too. I think I read that they're going to make them take all but $10 million out or something.
Who knows, though? There's so much politicking that is going to go on in the process.
And maybe the capital gains rate's going to go up, and it's all that stuff. But thank you, Kurt, for the question.
Thank you very much.
So I think as long as tax policy is what it is, hey, do it this year, and January 1st, do it next. I mean, if you have the money, immediately do it, because it is a great strategy. The backdoor Roth, sure, why not?
855-935-8255. That's our phone number, 855-935-TALK. Just to let you know, in addition to calling us live on the show, where you can talk to us on Saturdays, if you call that number after the show or when you're listening to a podcast, you can leave a question for us, and we'll answer it on a future podcast.
And how's our vlogcast going?
Vlog.
The video. I don't know, whatever you call it.
I know. It is called a vlog, and I hate the term.
All right. Okay. Well, by the way, you can go to YouTube
vlog
and type in Talking Real Money. See the plethora of topics we cover.
Wow. 500 575 subscribers now.
Not 575,000.
No,
How
570.
many people live in the United States? Like 320 million. Come
we got
on.
a note on one of them. People can make comments on them. And here, I'll just I'll read you the note because
Sure.
His name is, "Why do we have to create a channel just to leave a comment?" I don't know what that means, but he said, "Just wanted to let you guys know I discovered your podcast because of your ads on the Clark Howard podcast.
Oh, okay.
I've listened to about a half dozen episodes so far, and I'm really enjoying the podcast. As you speculated in one episode, I came here to YouTube to see what you guys look like."
I hope it wasn't too big of a disappointment.
It probably was. Podcast format works better for me because I can listen at work in the car, and it doesn't require my eyes.
Don't look at it.
You don't have to use my eyes, only my ears. He said, "I'm going to subscribe and give you a thumbs up, and I hope it helps. I hope your channel podcast grows quickly." That was a very nice comment.
Yeah, thank you. So don't look. Don't look
at us.
Just better off.
Just listen. I tried to fight against the video, but they wouldn't listen. 855-935-TALK-CALL.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Want a free copy of my book, Financial Physics? Well, go download it right now at vestory.com, VESTORY.com.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
As we entered into this hour, this future podcast, we talked about the importance of planning for retirement. That really should be everyone's number one investing goal is retirement, because as we age, we age better and we live longer. If we keep retiring at similar ages to what we have in the past, you're going to need an awful lot of money, So what are the odds that you are going to have enough money in retirement? And how much are you going to need to live comfortably in retirement? And that's a question a lot of people ask, and to which they have some very strange answers.
Well, most people, that's the number one question they ask when they talk to us. Mm-hmm. Is do I have enough, and will it survive? Will it sustain my lifestyle as it is today? Just had a lovely conversation with a couple this morning, and she admitted that she has a serious Amazon habit that she doesn't think she can conquer in retirement. So that's important.
Well, you got to make sure you can fund that. You can fund the Amazon habit.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
So the smart people at Bloomberg did a survey, and they asked many of you. By the way, the people they surveyed have at least $100,000 in investable assets.
So right there, that's where the survey starts.
Oh.
You got to have at least $100,000. So what did they ask them? What's the question?
Well, they asked them, in order to retire and enjoy decades of financial security, how much money will it take? How much you got to have?
And
the
survey says,
is it answer A, 300,000? Is it B, 750,000? Is it C, 1.7 million? Is it D, a miracle?
A miracle was one of the questions that wasn't the answers they gave them. Oh,
they gave. And guess what? 46% of millennials, 45% of Gen Xers, and 30% of baby boomers said
a miracle.
Yeah, D, a miracle. Which is kind of silly.
Sad.
I think.
Well, it's kind of sad.
I think people, if you ask them on the street, I'll never retire, but you gotta sit down and come up with a plan. But that's sad. But sadder yet is then they looked into the places that lead in the global retirement index. Places where people successfully quit their jobs and live out their lives.
We're talking about the places, like the list of best places to retire, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, and sometimes that looks at this part of it all, but mostly that looks at, are there things for you to do? How's the weather, et cetera, et cetera. But this is where people successfully quit their jobs. Mm-hmm. United States, not in the top 10. Not in the top 10.
But we're also workaholics, too.
Yeah, we like working. I keep working. Number one. Well, should I count down from 5 or up?
No,
which way do you want me to go?
Start from number 5.
Okay, number
Yeah,
five.
number 5
is
Yeah.
Ireland.
Ireland. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you
Okay.
got to drink beer. They got a lot of.
I'm going to let you
good
say
beer.
that. Number
and whiskey,
4.
great whiskey.
I want to see what you're going to say to this one. Number 4, Norway.
Norway.
Is that lutefisk? I don't know enough about the Scandinavians.
Nice wool. Great
Okay.
wool and oil. They have oil. I know because I rode the ride at Norway at Epcot, and so I learned all about that. Now the ride you ride at Epcot is frozen.
It's that cold? They can
that
it can chill it down that much?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the
number 3, Switzerland. Okay.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
You always know what time it is in retirement. A lot of chocolate. I'm waiting for your bad jokes here. I'm trying to set you up. Number 2, this did surprise me. Singapore.
And there's a lot of singing that goes on in Singapore. It's a great singing place.
Yeah. And number 1, this plays upon your recent mention of Frozen. Number 1 is Iceland.
Okay. Iceland is the one that's not frozen. Greenland is the one that is frozen.
Why don't they fix that? I hate to go off on a rant here, but that is outrageous.
No, it's all Floki's fault.
Floki. Isn't it Flunky?
No, Floki. Did you ever watch Vikings?
No, I never saw Vikings.
You never watched Vikings?
I never watched Vikings. Sorry.
Yeah. Floki.
I watched Entourage.
He was the first guy to Iceland, apparently. In fictional Floki land.
This looks like
Iceland.
No, sir, there's no ice here. I said it's Iceland. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
855-935-TALK is our phone number. Call us. We still have a lot of time left. 855-935-8255. Floki. I'm sorry.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Is your portfolio a mess? You may have a case of hodgepodgeitis, but don't worry, we can help. Just set up a free, no-obligation meeting with a Vestory advisor at vestory.com. No sales pitch, guaranteed. That's VESTORY.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
This is radio that can make a difference in the way you live your life. I'm Don. That's Tom. This is Talking Real Money. Thanks for being a part of it. And let's go back to those telephonic instruments that allow conversation between two people verbally. George.
Or more.
Welcome. Or more. George, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you for taking my call.
Glad to do it.
I have a question regarding a dividend fund within the Vanguard group, and I'm hoping you'll kind of clarify some logic. I'm having a problem trying to come to a decision with one of the dividend funds.
Which one?
I noticed that one of their dividend funds has only been in existence about 3 years, I believe. And if you need the lettering for it to identify it, it's VHYAX. And
VHYAX.
Through their family.
It's the high yield index, yeah. The high dividend yield index.
I think we just talked about this a week ago, but yes.
Darn cheap. It's 8 basis points.
But this is not a type of mutual fund we'd recommend that you purchase.
Why are you looking to buy this? I know the reason, but I'm going to ask.
Well, it would provide income.
There you go. I knew that was the answer.
From what I've seen, what it has done this year since January, and even going back a full year from today, it looks to me like if I read the graph right, it's generated well over 20% return. And right now, I'm holding about $100,000 in the international fund, and it's not doing squat. I'm not impressed with it at all.
Over what time? Wait. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Over what time period are you unimpressed with your international fund?
Well, I've been in it now for about 8 or 9 years, I guess.
Okay.
And all I've got is the numbers at Vanguard.
Oh, no. I know what the numbers are. I'm not disagreeing with your numbers at all. I just wanted to know the time frames that we are talking about, because what it sounds to me like you're doing is chasing performance. Chasing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a couple of things that we do know when it comes to that. Number one, academics that we trust, that we think you should respect and listen to, are going to tell you that any performance less than 10 years is noise. Number two, a high dividend paying company is either seeing their share price come down because that makes the dividend yield higher, or for some other reason they pay out a significant dividend. Generally, all you've done is reduce your diversification. We want you to be fully diversified among all asset classes. And these stocks, I'd have to dig into a little bit and, for example, go see what's happened in times of stress when they may or may not be able to pay you.
I can already tell you right now that the reason this Vanguard dividend fund and other high dividend paying funds have, past tense, this is so important that we use that word, not are or will, have. The reason it has done well over the past year, and it's done very well over the past year, is because millions of people just like you are chasing dividends, trying to find a higher income way, a higher yielding way to invest. The problem is the risks associated with a high dividend paying fund are comparable, if not higher, than a total market index fund. Higher. It only has 412 stocks in it. The Vanguard Total World Stock Index has 8,800 stocks in it. You are going the wrong direction. What you would be better off doing is getting rid of your international fund and your U.S. fund and buying a global fund so that they're all mixed together. But the fact of the matter is, if you had owned that international fund between 2000 and 2010, you would have just been so thrilled that you owned it, because that's when the U.S. market did badly. Well, for the past 10 years, the U.S. market has done extraordinarily well, and the international markets have not done as well. But we don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 years, which is why we believe that you have to believe the academic research that says massively diversify your portfolio. Look at it as one entity. Don't try to jump from one thing to the other because you're just chasing after winners, not leading. You can't know in advance who's going to be the winner. You've got to stop doing this, or you're going to end up, you get into those dividend funds, sure shooting, they'll end up being bad performers too in the future.
And just to finalize that thought, George, thank you for the call. The reality is every person needs a portfolio, not a series of ideas. This is an idea that appears to be working right now. As Don said, might or might not work in the long haul. Everyone should be globally diversified, big, small, all those other asset classes, and not care about what's been best lately.
And please stop watching CNBC. 855-935-TALK is our phone number, and you can call that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Dean, you're up next. Welcome to the show.
Hi there. Hi, Tom. Hi, Don.
Hey, Dean.
Hey.
So my question is that I am recently a new grandfather of a three-day-old baby, and I'm looking at trying to set up a investment fund for her. I've heard multiple different things, from insurance policies to 29s to just putting it in the stock market. So I'm looking for some advice here.
Well, now, first, before we get there, you're the grandfather of a 3-day-old. Isn't it a lot easier to be the grandfather of a 3-day-old than the father of one?
Oh, absolutely. I just left her, and it was so nice to just love on her and then leave the room. So.
And then, here, Mom, Dad, you get to hold her now. Okay, the life insurance thing, before we get to the others, I'm going to let Tom do the others. But what idiot suggested life insurance for a baby? That's the dumbest thing
It was actually more set up the life insurance for the parent.
Why?
Of the baby.
Why?
No, so if the parents have no life insurance, I could see that.
Yeah. But,
in other words, pay for the life insurance that they don't have in case something happens to them.
I guess.
Okay,
but
that makes sense.
It's not a good investment, but...
No, but if they don't, they should have insurance, of course, if they have a 3-day-old child. By the way, I had 2 of my grandsons over last night. It's the greatest joy in my life.
Good. They have insurance. So insurance is out. Out.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people buy this like Gerber stupid baby insurance, which is like, it's like, okay, let me buy a lottery ticket on my child's death.
That's kind of odd. Okay, but then it comes down to what your values are. In my case, I have contributed regularly to my grandchildren's 529s because I value education. I'm hoping that they will get post-secondary educations wherever it may be, and that I can help make that happen financially. If your values are, hey, I want to give them a head start on buying a house or buying a car or something other than that, then you could do a Uniform Gift to Minor Act, something like that, where you're putting the money in. When they reach age, they take the money out, they spend it. It's a personal preference. Don, what is our favorite 529 right now?
My529.com, which is Utah's plan, has great choices, great age-based options, very, very inexpensive, ridiculously easy to set up. And the nice thing is you control the investments. You control what is done with them, and you decide whether they get to even use them or not. So you're totally in control. It's your money. Yeah. I would get a 529. I think that's absolutely the way to go. Because bear in mind, it's not just post-secondary education either. It could be apprentice programs. It could be trade schools, all kinds of education. And everybody should get educated after high school.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Set your course for a great future with a free copy of our 60-page Better Retirement Guidebook at vestory.com, vestory.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
And if you need help figuring out how to really build a portfolio, a well-diversified portfolio, even if you're a do-it-yourselfer, we make our fee-only advisors available to anybody who asks, anybody, anywhere in the country, at no cost, no obligation, no high-pressure sales pitch. Promise, cross my heart. All you need to do is go to vestory.com, vestory.com, and set up an appointment, vestory.com.
We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately and consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestory, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit talkingrealmoney.com for more information and disclosures. That should keep the lawyers happy.